Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am your teacher and tutor, Sir Mehmood Ahmad. So, as you know that we read biology. So today our chapter is chapter number 2, homeostasis, and lecture is to the topic is homeostasis in plants. So let's move towards our topic. As we know that plants respond to environmental changes and keep their internal conditions constant. An example, homeostasis. So the first line says that plants also respond to the environmental changes like we do. So how do they do is the question. The answer is homeostasis. So by homeostasis, plants respond to their environmental changes. They apply different mechanisms for the homeostasis of water and other chemicals like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogenous materials, etc. And there are 4 ways for homeostasis in plants. What are these? These are removal of extra carbon dioxide and oxygen, removal of extra water, removal of other metabolic wastes, and osmotic adjustments in plants. So let's move to these topics and study them in detail. So what is removal of extra carbon dioxide and oxygen? As we know, plants do 2 processes. Number 1 is photosynthesis and the other is respiration. So in photosynthesis, they do it in daytime, and by using carbon dioxide and water, they make their food, that is glucose, C6H12O6, and the byproduct is water. So in daytime, the carbon dioxide produced during cellular respiration is utilized in photosynthesis, and hence it is not a waste product. At night it is surplus because there is no utilization of carbon dioxide. It is removed from the tissue cells by diffusion. In leaves and young stems, carbon dioxide escapes out through stomata. In young roots, carbon dioxide diffuses through the general root surface, especially through root hairs. So, as we know that plant use CO2, carbon dioxide from the environment for the process of photosynthesis. Basically, it is utilized, but in photosynthesis. But in respiration, the process is opposite. So, in that process, carbon dioxide is released. It is being made, so it is not utilizing. That is why in respiration it is a byproduct and useless thing because it is not utilized. Oxygen is produced in mesophyll cells only during daytime as a byproduct of photosynthesis. After its utilization in cellular respiration, the mesophyll cells remove the extra amount of oxygen through stomata. But on the other hand, in the respiration, the process is opposite. Now oxygen is being used and carbon dioxide is the byproduct. In this, plant use oxygen and made carbon dioxide, that is a byproduct. So plant don't need carbon dioxide anymore. That is why it is a byproduct or useless thing. So it is removed from the plants by stomata. And on the other hand, in photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is utilized, is used, but oxygen is the byproduct and it is not utilized. That is why it is a byproduct and it is a waste material for the plant. That is why they excrete it out. So they remove it by diffusion or by the stomata. So students, the second topic is removal of extra water. how extra water is removed. Now there is a point that plant needs water also. So how is it removed or how is it extra? As we know that plants obtain water from soil and it is also produced in the body during cellular respiration. Plants store large amount of water in their cells for turgidity. Extra water is removed from plant body by transpiration. So we know that plant need water and it carry water from the soil, it absorbs the water for their turgidity, to become turgid. But in daytime it is removed by transpiration from the stomata, from plants. So at night transpiration usually does not occur because most plants have their stomata closed. If there is a high water content in soil, water enters the root and is accumulated the xylem vessels. Some plants such as grasses force this water through special pores present at the leaf tips or edges and form drops. The appearance of drops of water on the tips or edges of leaves is called guttation. So now we know that how is extra water removed in daytime by transpiration from the stomata. So there are two things in daytime. The extra water is removed by transpiration from stomata. But when it is night, means in night time, what will they do? Because most of the plants have closed stomata at that time. So how is the water is removed? And there is no transpiration also. So it is removed by some special pores like grasses have. So that process is known as guttation. So let's move towards the definitions of transpiration or guttation so we can remember it for the long period. What is transpiration? Transpiration, as we have studied earlier, that transpiration is the loss of water from plant surface in the form of vapor. And what is guttation? The appearance of drops of water on the tips or edges of leaves is called guttation. I hope you have understood. So let's move towards the next topic. So students, the third topic is removal of metabolic waste. Plants deposit many metabolic wastes in their bodies as harmless insoluble materials. For example, calcium oxalate is deposited in the form of crystals in the leaves and stems of many plants. Example given: tomato. In trees which shed their leaves yearly, the excretory products are removed from body during leaf fall. Other waste materials that are removed by some plants are resins by coniferous trees, gums by kikar, latex by rubber plant, and mucilage by carnivorous plants and ladyfinger. So students, as I have already mentioned that some plants deposit many metabolic waste. As we have discussed earlier, that like us, there are some metabolic waste produced after metabolism. So these are harmful for our health. That is why it is necessary to excrete them out. That is why the same process is in plants. There are some chemicals like calcium oxalate. It is made in plants and it is a metabolic waste also. So it forms crystals or needle-like crystals or needle-like structures. So these are also necessary to excreted. So plants use the method of leaf falling for excrete them out. Or some plants use the techniques like resins. They excrete in in the form of resins that we make, or we collect these resins, gums or rubber, latex, etc. to use or to make some things like tires or paints. So their excreted product is also be used by human beings. The fourth topic is osmotic adjustment in plants. There are many osmotic adjustments. On the basis of the available amount of water and salts, plants are divided into three groups: hydrophytes, xerophytes, and halophytes. What are hydrophytes? Hydrophytes are the plants that live in the water, completely or partially in the water. They live in the water basically. And what are xerophytes? Xerophytes are the plants that live in desert-like environment. So they live in the desert. Halophytes are the plants that live in the water, means in the surface of sea. So let's move towards their details. So students, their details are as follows. Number one is hydrophytes. Hydrophytes are the plants which live completely or partially submerged in fresh water. Such plants do not face the problem of water shortage. They have developed mechanisms for the removal of extra water from their cells. Hydrophytes have broad leaves with a large number of stomata on their upper surfaces. This characteristic helps them to remove the extra amount of water. The most common example of such plants is water lily. That means that these plants live in water, on the surface of water, means that they live completely or partially. They are dipped in water, like water lily. The number two is xerophytes. Xerophytes live in dry environments. They process thick, waxy cuticle over their epidermis to reduce water loss from internal tissues. They have less number of stomata to reduce the rate of transpiration. Such plants have deep roots to absorb maximum water from soil. Some xerophytes have special parenchyma cells in stems or roots in which they store large quantities of water. This makes their stems or roots wet and juicy, called succulent organs. Cacti, singular cactus, are the common examples of such plants. Students, these types of plants live or found in deserts, like the very familiar plant is cactus, or aloe vera is also an example of xerophytes. So let's move towards the other one. Students, third is halophytes. Halophytes live in sea waters and are adapted to salty environments. Salts enter in the bodies of such plants due to their higher concentration in sea water. On the other hand, water tends to move out of their cells into the hypertonic sea water. When salts enter into cells, plants carry out active transport to move and hold large amount of salts in vacuoles. Salts are not allowed to move out through the semi-permeable membranes of vacuoles. So the sap of vacuoles remains even more hypertonic than sea water. In this way, water does not move out of cells. Many sea grasses are included in this group of plants. Students, there are the pictures of some hydrophytes, halophytes, and xerophytes plants. These are the hydrophytes, the water lily. They have broad leaves, so they can transpirate more water because they have sufficient water supply. The other is halophytes. These are under sea or on the surface of sea. They also have a lot of water supply. So and they have the concentrated water, means they have sea water that have sufficient amount of salts dissolved in it. So that is why these types of plants only occur in seas and also can transpirate the water by their leaves. The next picture is of xerophytes. These are the cactus. These are the plants which grow in deserts or the places where there is a little amount of water. So these plants only occur in the deserts where the water supply is minimum, and they don't have such leaves like the halophytes or hydrophytes. They have very thick and tiny thorn-like leaves, so that they have minimum transpiration and minimum water loss because they don't have sufficient water. I hope you have understood all these topics. So we will meet you in the next video. Till the next video, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay healthy, stay happy, be smart, be safe, and try to be clean and apply cleanliness to your surroundings. And like, share, and watch my videos. Also comment if you want to ask anything. Do comments, like, share, and subscribe my channel Mehmood Ahmad MTC. So meet you inshallah in next video. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz. Pakistan Zindabad.